Apple is about to do something with the iPhone 18 Pro that sounds small on paper, but quietly changes everything. We're talking about a redesigned body, a camera system that behaves more like a real DSLR satellite internet, a brand new 2 nanometer chip, and a release strategy that might actually push people into buying the Pro whether they plan to or not. And the wild part is, we're learning all of this way earlier than Apple ever intended. So, yes, this is your early look at the iPhone 18 Pro leaks and rumors, but stick with me because the real story here isn't any single feature. It's the pattern Apple is building toward, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. Let's start with the design because at first glance it looks familiar, and that's intentional. The iPhone 18 Pro is keeping the general shape of the 17 Pro, but Apple is quietly undoing something they introduced only a few years ago, that ultra industrial two-tone look, the one that screams, "I am a pro device, behold my seriousness." Yeah, Apple's walking that back. The aluminum unibody is being reworked so the glass and metal blend together almost seamlessly. Same color, same finish, no visual break. It's softer, more unified, and honestly, more human. This feels like Apple admitting that not everyone wants their phone to look like a piece of factory equipment. But here's the twist. While the phone looks friendlier, it's also getting thicker. Again, for the second year in a row, and no, Apple didn't suddenly forget how to make thin devices. This is a deliberate trade. A thicker iPhone 18 Pro almost certainly means a larger battery, but it also means more internal space for things Apple clearly cares about more right now than thinness. The rumors even suggest this could be the heaviest iPhone ever, which explains why Apple is sticking with aluminum instead of going back to titanium, because at that point, your phone would double as a free weight. Now, the colors, this is where things get fun. Apple is reportedly testing 3 very un-Apple colors, a deep red, a light brown, and a bright purple. No, we're not getting all 3. Apple never does that. They'll pick 1, maybe 2 at most, but the fact that these are even being prototyped tells us something. Apple wants the 18 Pro to stand out visually in a way recent Pros just haven't. If you've ever looked at your phone and thought, wow, this is powerful, but also aggressively gray, Apple heard you. Then we get to the display, and this is where the leaks start sounding fake until you realize multiple sources are saying the same thing. The dynamic island, as we know it, may be going away. Instead, the iPhone 18 Pro could use a single hole punch camera in the top left corner. Yes, like an Android, I know. Everyone had the same reaction. But before we panic, remember this. We've been here before. Early iPhone 14 Pro leaks showed a weird pill-shaped cutout that looked awful, until Apple wrapped it in software and called it the dynamic island. There's a very real chance Apple is doing that again. The hardware changes first. The Apple-style UI magic comes later. The real breakthrough here is what enables this design. Apple is reportedly moving Face ID fully under the display using a new type of micro-transparent glass that lets infrared light pass through without distortion. That's not just cool, that's foundational. And the reason the camera might be shifting left instead of staying centered could be tied to the upgraded 24 megapixel selfie camera. Bigger sensor, more components, less room in the middle. Move the camera, free up space, keep everything functional. And space is about to become very expensive inside this phone because the rear camera system is getting serious. The main wide camera is rumored to gain a variable aperture lens. That's not a smartphone gimmick. That's real camera territory. This lets you physically control how much light hits the sensor, changing depth of field naturally instead of faking it with software. Brighter low-light shots, smoother motion in video, and way more creative control if you actually care about photography. On top of that, Apple is reportedly using new 3-layer sensor made by Samsung. Yes, Samsung. The irony is strong, but This sensor is said to reduce noise, increase dynamic range, and improve responsiveness. Translation: faster shots, cleaner images, less computational guesswork. Your phone starts behaving more like a camera, not a camera app pretending very hard. Now, quick reality check. Apple giveth and Apple taketh away. That camera control button everyone keeps accidentally pressing, rumor says it's getting simplified. No more touch sensitivity, no pressure input, just a button to take photos, like buttons used to do, which honestly feels like Apple admitting, yeah, okay, that was too much. And the reason they can afford to simplify there is because Apple's attention has shifted somewhere much bigger: connectivity. The iPhone 18 Pro is rumored to become a true satellite phone, not just emergency SOS, not just limited texting, actual satellite internet. And if you're wondering why Apple keeps saying these satellite features are free for now, this is why. Because eventually this becomes a service, monthly, off the grid internet access straight from your iPhone. That's not just a feature, that's a new category. At the same time, Apple's modem division is finally flexing. The new C2 modem is expected to support both sub-6 and ultra-fast millimeter wave 5G, outperforming current Qualcomm modems while using less power, faster speeds, better efficiency, fewer dropped connections. This is Apple quietly removing one of the last reasons they needed outside suppliers. And then there's the A20 chip. This is the one that changes the conversation. 2 nanometer silicon, performance gains around 15%, efficiency improvements rumored at 30%. Those are absurd numbers year over year. But the most important upgrade isn't speed, it's how the chip handles AI. Apple is reportedly moving RAM closer to the processor itself, massively reducing latency for on-device AI tasks. This feels like an AM1 level moment, not a spec bump, a shift. Pair that with a thicker body and a more efficient chip, and suddenly, battery life, already Apple's quiet advantage, pulls even further ahead. Now here's the curveball. The iPhone 18 isn't launching the way you expect. September 2026, you're only getting the Pro models, iPhone 18 Pro, Pro Max, and the new Ultra. The regular iPhone 18, that's coming 6 months later, March 2027. And that's not an accident. If the holidays are coming and the only new iPhones available are Pros, well, guess what people are going to buy? The base iPhone 18 is rumored to be almost identical to the 17 anyway. Same design, minor upgrades, nothing exciting. Apple knows exactly what it's doing. Front load the expensive models, let desire do the work, then release the cheaper ones later. So when you zoom out, the iPhone 18 Pro isn't just a phone, it's Apple reshaping its priorities. Less obsession with thinness, more focus on power, photography, connectivity, and control. And honestly, it feels like Apple is trying to make the iPhone interesting again. Now I want to know what you think. Would you actually use satellite internet on your phone, or is that just a flex feature you'll never touch? Drop a comment. I'm genuinely curious. And if this breakdown helped you see the bigger picture, hit like so the algorithm knows this was worth your time. If you want to stay ahead of Apple's roadmap, there's another video queued up for you right after this that dives even deeper. Because this isn't just about the iPhone 18 Pro. This is Apple setting the tone for the next decade. See you next video. Peace out.